Hey guys, Metal Viking 82 here, back with one more video for today. It's been a long day, I'm tired, but I really wanted to get through all this stuff because I've had it boxed up and ready to go to do videos. This is the first chance I've had to do these, I just wanted to get through everything and then see what all I've got left to get it boxed up, ready to bring down and do these videos, and hopefully we'll have the CD collection finished before too long. So yeah. Gonna get started, starting off with a little bit of deathcore here. Yes, I do like deathcore. Not quite as much as death metal. It was definitely something that grew on me. I first didn't really like it, but now I'm pretty much, I'll listen to some really good deathcore. It just has to be the right kind. This is Suicide Silence with The Cleansing and No Time to Bleed. That's stacked up there. The Black Crown. This is ending is the beginning of the Mitch Lucker Memorial Show. CD, DVD set. Haven't watched the DVD yet, but the CD is pretty cool. And then their latest album, You Can't Stop Me. Again, 2-disc edition. I did watch the DVD that came with this one. It was pretty cool, I have to say. Next up, Whitechapel with the Somatic Defilement. Really great album. I mean, just the opening of Necroticizing and the title track. Oh my god, this deep growl that he does at one part. Oh my god, fucking amazing. And this is probably my favorite of the bunch. This is Exile. The only problem I have with it is the booklet is also a poster, and while I want to hang the poster, I want to have a complete package. So, yeah. Then we have a new era of corruption. Excuse me. And then here's where it starts to get really iffy. This is the self-titled, and their latest one, Our Endless War. I don't know. I really wish they'd go back to their old sound a little more. And those first two albums are probably their best, I think. This is Divine Heresy, Bleed the Fifth. Fucking awesome album. Features Dino Cazares of Fear Factory. This is his project. Great album. I like this one a little bit more than the next one. Never heard this band before. Failed Creation. Check that song out. Has Tim Young in the band. Killer drummer. That song is just fucking amazing. And then this is Bringer of Plagues. Next up, Job for a Cowboy. Doom. This is Genesis, which is just really awesome. This is where they transitioned from a deathcore band to pretty much an awesome death metal band, in my opinion. This is Ruination. This is the Gloom reissue. Demonocracy. And their latest one, Sun Eater. Veil of Maya with Id. This is Eclipse. And their latest one, Matriarch. Really cool packaging on this one. A lot of cool artwork in it. Upon a Burning Body, The World Is Ours. This is probably their best album, I think. Though I do enjoy their others, just not quite as much as that one. This is Red, White, and Green. And The World Is My Enemy Now. This band, the first time I heard them, I remember I just couldn't get into the vocals at first. It just kind of, I was like, eh. But over time, they grew on me, and I really enjoy this band now. This is Oceano with Depth. And Contagion, which is just a fucking killer release. They've honestly not put out a bad album yet, in my opinion. Incisions, which I actually pre-ordered with a t-shirt and an autographed poster, which I have framed and hanging up in my room. And then their latest one, Ascendance. Really good album. This is the Acacia Strain with 3750. And Wormwood. This is Death is the Only Mortal. As You Drown, Rat King. Ugh. Now we're getting into the more brutal side of things. This is Stages of Decomposition with Piles of Rotting Flesh. Skinless, Progression Towards Evil. From Sacrifice to Survival. And this actually contains the first song that I ever heard from them. I'm trying to think. I almost want to say it's a False Sense of Security. I cannot remember off the top of my head what it is. But they actually used a different version on this album than the one I remember hearing. And I was kind of disappointed with that. But overall, good album. Trample the Weak, Hurl the Dead. And their latest album, great comeback album, Only the Ruthless Remain. Highly recommended you check that one out. Lust of Decay, Infesting the Exhumed. Kingdom of Corpses. And Purity Through Dismemberment. Next up, we have Lividity with The Age of Clitoral Decay. This is Used, Abused, and Left for Dead. Just fucking sick. Brutal death metal. This is Till Only the Sick Remain. And To Desecrate and Defile. And then the Complete Demography, 1994 to 2005. Next up, we have Viral Load with Brutalized Beyond Belief. This is Practitioners of Perversion. Backwoods Bludgeoning, Sick Hicks from the Sticks. And Hillbilly Whore Hackin' Revival. Gotta love those titles, man. And then one that took me fucking forever to find somebody that had a copy of this. This is the Split with Putrid Pile. Awesome stuff. Speaking of Putrid Pile, we have a collection of Butchery. The Pleasure in Suffering. This is a House of Dementia. This is a split they did with Disgracia. I was really happy to finally find that one. And the last one I have from them is Blood Fetish. I know he's got a new one in the works, though it's kind of on a bit of a delay right now, but definitely going to be worth the wait, I think. This is The Wretched End with Inroads. This is the death metal project that's Samoth from Emperor started right after he left. Well, pretty much right after he left Emperor and Zyklon broke up. Then we have Mongrel's Cross, The Sins of Aquarius. Sanguis Imperium. In Glory We March Towards Our Doom. This is Offending, Age of Perversion. Reign of Terror, Threnody of the Impaled. Abominant, Where Demons Dwell. This is Relics of Humanity, Guided by the Soulless Call. Another example of some killer artwork on a brutal death metal album. And I just dropped it. This is Vacuous with Fragmentation of the Mind EP. This originally was only limited to, I think, 50 copies. And he printed up another 100, so he had to write it in. I don't know if you'll be able to read that, but I got number 64 of 150. Really good EP. Definitely check that out. Thy Art is Murder with Hate and Holy War. King Parrot, Dead Set. Serial Butcher, Brute Force Lobotomy. Surprisingly, this was actually found at FYE. I'm surprised they even have that. This is Weregoat with Unholy Exaltation of Full Moon Perversity. That's a mouthful right there. Next up, Dark Sermon within Tongues. And their latest one, The Oracle. Witherscape, The Inheritance. Another project of Dan Swano, which I've yet to really hear anything that he has done that is truly horrible. Pardon me. This is a Hackneyed Burn After Reaping. 7 Horns, 7 Eyes, Throes of Absolution. Some killer Brazilian death metal right here. This is Christian with Black Force Domain. And my personal favorite, The Conquerors of Armageddon. If you've never heard Christian before, check out the song Cursed Scrolls. That drum intro, oh my god. Fucking love it. That is like one of my favorite drum intros ever. This is Apocalyptic Revelation. And then we have the album that has the drum sound of a deranged typewriter. This is Ageless Venomous. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just listen to any song off of here and you'll hear what I mean. The bass drums sound like a fucking typewriter. I remember when people told me that, I thought they were kidding, and then I listened to it, and I'm like, holy shit, they were right. This is Works of Carnage. Bloodshed, which this used to have a slipcase, and back when I used to live in an apartment with a buddy of mine, it somehow got lost in transit. This is Assassination. Southern Storm. And The Great Execution. Next up, Rivers of Nihil, The Conscious Seed of Light. Awesome death metal band. Awesome album, as is their latest one, Monarchy. Really good stuff. This is Acheron with Lex Talionis. The only Acheron that I have, which I really need to rectify that at some point. This is Benediction with Subconscious Terror. This is The Grotesque Ashen Epitaph and The Grand Leveler. And here's the Grotesque Ashen Epitaph by itself. Transcend the Rubicon. Classic album cover right there. Classic album. Just really good stuff. Really good kind of grindy death metal in the vein of Bolt Thrower and stuff like that. And funnily enough, the vocalist for this actually went on to be in Bolt Thrower for a short time. And then we have Organized Chaos. I'm still missing Grind Bastard. I really got to find that. The next couple are 2 of the best debut brutal death metal albums from last year for me. I mean, both these albums are just fucking solid. I highly recommend that you check them out if you haven't and you're a fan of brutal death metal. This is Iniquitous Deeds with Incessant Hallucinations. And Embodied Torment with Liturgy of Ritual Execution. Excuse me. This is Disentomb with Misery. Another great album from last year. Pissgrave, Suicide Euphoria. Fucking sick stuff. Check those guys out. Black Tongue, The Unconquerable Dark. Down tempo, deathcore. So heavy, so crushing. I fucking love this album. And it was a complete blind buy for me. I kept looking at it and I'm just like... I guess it was kind of a blind buy because I did eventually, check out a song when I got home and then I regretted not buying it that day. And it took a little while before I got back up that way, and thankfully they still had it. So this is Amputory with Ode de Gore. Rigor Mortis, Vaginal Gutting. This is essentially a Russian copy of Mortician. And funnily enough, inside right here on the cover is a quote from Will Romer from Mortician that says, "Hails to the Russian Mortician." So if you like Mortician, definitely check out Rigor Mortis. And we are actually going to end on Mortician. I know that they're a band that not a lot of people like, but I personally love them. You know, this is how I think a lot of death metal should be done. But we have House by the Cemetery, Zombie Apocalypse, Hacked Up for Barbecue, Chainsaw Dismemberment, Domain of Death, Darkest Day of Horror, Zombie Massacre Live, the Final Bloodbath Sessions, which is essentially they went back and recorded a bunch of songs with an actual drummer for the first time. And if they ever finally fucking get around to doing a new album, they're supposed to actually have a real drummer for once. And the last one, Reanimated Dead Flesh, which I actually just read the other day that Hell's Headbangers is going to be issuing this on vinyl. And I'm actually thinking about springing for both versions because it's supposed to come with a yellow version with some kind of splatter. I forget what color it is. And then they're also supposed to have a glow-in-the-dark version. So yeah, whenever that finally comes up for order, I am definitely going to get both of those, I think. So yeah, that is it for today. I am tired. I'm not going to make any more videos today. But thank you so much for watching and sitting through all this. Yeah, so thanks again for watching and subscribing. And until next time, stay brutal.